Welcome to part 6 of how to open a barbershop. Today we're going to be talking about where to find good barbers and what I look for when I interview those barbers. Now, in case you guys missed some of the previous episodes, I'm going to recap them just in case you guys want to go back and check them out. In part 1, we discussed how to find a good location and what important things you should look for when you are looking at your different options for a location. In part 2, we discussed how to come up with a good name for your barbershop and how to get a logo design. In part 3, I showed you guys a few different signage options, from the big lit sign on the front of the building to the window decals to some signage that you can do inside the barbershop as well. In part 4, we looked at all the equipment that we had to get: the barber chairs, the stations, the mirrors, the lights, the barber poles, everything you guys are going to need for the barbershop itself. And in part 5, we looked at a few different options that you guys will run into when you start to look at the build out, changing the building from whatever it is to the final product of a barbershop. And like I said, today we're going to be talking about how to hire barbers, where to find them, what important things you should be looking for in those barbers. So first off, let's just start with the basics of the barbershop. We talked in a few of the other episodes on how many chairs we're gonna have, how much the bills are, and that's something you guys wanna look at obviously before you get to opening day. You want to know, like, if you need 3 chairs to pay the bills, then we need to get a couple barbers in along with myself before we open so that the bills are covered. Now, my first shop, I covered basically the entire rent the whole first month. I didn't have any barbers. I had one barber come in that month and we basically split it half and half. And then after a month or two, I got another barber and the 3 of us more or less split booth rent. I was still paying booth rent. Obviously, as an owner, the idea is not to pay booth rent, but I knew eventually I was going to get to 5 barbers, 6, 7 barbers, and then I would start to obviously cover it. So you guys want to figure that out first. How many barbers are you going to need? If you guys saw part 1, we basically said we're going to do 8 chairs, and I think it was going to take about 6 chairs for me to break even. So out of the new barbershop, I'm going to have 5 barbers. I'm looking to hire 1 more, definitely in the near future, so that we can kind of break even on the 54 location, and then I'll need to add a few here as well. Basically, I have 6 months until I pay full rent. I need to add 2 or 3 barbers at each location. So you guys just need to figure out that number for yourself. Basically, at what point do you need to have how many barbers that are going to cover the bills, and then we can go start to look and hire some barbers. So when I'm looking for barbers, there's a few things that are super important to me, and there are other things that are not as important. The things that's not important, funny enough, is how well they cut hair. Majority of my barbershop have come straight out of barber school. You guys know I've been teaching on YouTube for years. Even when I first started my barbershop 8 years ago, I helped to teach those guys and bring them up and train them in the way that I wanted the shop to operate, teach them the techniques that I knew. So I can teach somebody how to cut hair. I can't teach somebody how to be a good person, how to be on time, how to have a strong work ethic. So when we talk about what I look for, I'm going to pay a lot more attention to how the person carries themselves and how respectful they are, and did they show up on time. I just interviewed somebody the other day. They were 15 minutes early. I love it. They brought a notepad all filled out, ready and organized with questions to ask. And just the way the person presents themselves speaks a lot stronger to me than how good they can cut hair. If I hire them, they're going to be around 12, 13 other barbers in my barbershop that are super talented, along with myself, that I'm willing to spend some time with them to teach them some things. As a matter of fact, at my new shop, we're going to be doing basically a mandatory once a month demonstration for all the barbers that they just got to come, hang out, watch. I'm going to give them some tips. They can ask questions, and we're going to grow them that way. So I really don't care at all how good they are at cutting hair. I care a lot more about their attitude, their work ethic, you know, if they show up on time and things like that. I would love to hire some barbers that have some goals and ambitions. I don't really want people that just want a job. Unfortunately, you're going to find that, you know, you can't pick perfectly, and sometimes people can sell you a good, you know, in the interview they sound really good, and then they come in and they just kind of do the minimum. That'll happen from time to time. But really, I want people that want to grow with the business. They want to work harder. They want to learn. They want to raise their prices. They want to maybe open their own shop one day. I have no problem with that. I will support my guys. I've had a couple leave. I have one right now that's leaving to go open his own shop. So it's much more important to me that I have that hardworking, ambitious, driven barber than somebody that just wants to come in here, make a couple $100, go home, doesn't really care about the shop. So those are some things that I look for. Obviously, you guys may have your own things, and you know, you may be in a pinch where you can't be that selective and you have to hire some people. And so in that case, you just have to work with what you got. But those are the things that I would recommend looking for when you are interviewing people, when you're discussing it with people. And I think those are the strong points I look for, and hopefully that's helpful for you guys. Now, if you want to talk about where to find the barbers, actually, obviously the first place to start would be your local barber school. Now, up until a year ago, we did not have a barber school here in Owensboro, so I would have had to gone all the way to the school I went to, an hour away, or an hour away north of us where the rest of my barbers went to. And we have sourced some barbers from those schools, but fortunately now we have a school here. So I would just recommend go down to the school, shake some hands, meet the instructors, let them know that you're opening a new shop, that you're going to have some chairs available. Now, I don't don't know how you guys barber schools operate, but here it's like a revolving door. So every time somebody graduates, somebody new can start. So you literally could have people graduating every month looking for jobs and building that relationship with the school, and then probably recommending to their students. You know, if you built a good relationship, that'd be a great spot for you to go work. And obviously the more you go to the school, you can shake hands with those barbers yourself, introduce yourself, offer them a job or offer them an interview. Just tell them to come swing by the shop, check it out. You'd love to talk to them and maybe give them a place to start working. So luckily for you, starting a new shop, you're gonna have other people that are starting a new career and need somewhere to go. It's gotta all work out for everybody. New shop may not have clientele for a new barber, but if you guys do everything we're gonna do in this video, set everything up right, market yourself right, it can work for both sides. So that's the first place I would start, is going to a barber school. Secondly, I would utilize your social media. So as soon as you have the idea of a barbershop, as soon as you get a logo and a name, I would go ahead and make some social media. Make a Facebook page. If you don't have a location yet, I don't know if you can do like a business Facebook page, but as soon as you get all that rolling, make a Facebook page, make an Instagram page. Start to promote the shop, that it's gonna be opening in a few months or opening summer next year, whatever it is. You can be as loose as you need. As you get further, you can tighten up on the dates and all that, but also use that to advertise that you're gonna be needing barbers, that you're looking for some motivated, again, whatever you're looking for. Hey, I'm looking for some motivated, hardworking individuals to join this winning team that we're gonna have at Sean's Barbershop, whatever it is. So use your social media. Another thing we always talk about on social media, guys, you can ask people to share your post. Put on there, please help me share this post and get the word out, and people will share it. So one thing I like about Facebook is it's so easily shareable. It's much more local, in my opinion. I think Instagram for me is more to connect with barbers and to connect with people all the way around the country. But my Facebook has local friends. I posted, I asked my friends to share it. They all share it, not all of them, but a lot of them, and get the word out to a lot of people. So you guys utilize your social media, and ideally you have some people reach out, and hopefully you guys can fill a few chairs that way. Now keep in mind, I have a huge barbershop. I'm trying to add like 3 people to this shop, 3 people to that shop, so I need a large amount of barbers in the next near future. But for you guys, it may be a little 3 or 4 chair shop, and you're one of those. So it's not as difficult, and again, as a shop owner, if you gotta pay a little rent as you start, I would imagine that the shop you just came from, you were paying rent, so it's not really that different until you ramp up, you add some barbers, and you know, you can cover the bills. So just figure that plan out. One thing I will say, obviously there are other barbershops in town, and you may know some other barbers and you'd like for them to come work for you. I would just tell you to be careful, be cautious, you know, kind of poaching barbers from other barbershops. You don't want to really be seen as that guy that's kind of going to other shops or texting people outside of that and saying, hey man, you know, you should leave where you're at and come work for me. So that's kind of a line you want to watch, because you don't really want to, you know, make the other shop owners in town think a certain way about you. You know, honestly, in the town that I'm in, a lot of the other barbershops don't like us because we're bigger. We win the awards every year. We charge more. We've done everything new while they're doing everything old. So they already don't like me. And so I would just hate to, you know, I'm not gonna walk into one of their shops and say, hey, so-and-so, come work for me, or let it be known that I'm kind of going after their barbers. So I would leave it to that social media. Maybe make a post that says, hey, if you're in a barbershop and you are looking for a new opportunity, reach out to me. Then you're putting it in the barber's hands for them to come over and reach out to you and come work in your shop. So I've actually had a couple of those scenarios happen. I have a couple barbers that I'm in discussions with right now as to coming over here to work at my new shop or at this old location as well. We're gonna be able to fill both shops, but basically the same thing. They're looking for more opportunity. They are good where they're at, but they're wanting to grow. They know that my idea with Klutch is to basically have no ceiling at the top where you guys can work towards whatever it is you want to do. If you want to do YouTube, if you want to educate, if you want to work 6 to 6, if you want to, you know, whatever it is you want to do. You want to do facials and hot towels, and you know, I have no limits on my barbers. So I think there are some people that are looking to expand their career even farther, and so they have reached out to me, and we're going to see what we can do to bring them onto the team. So I think that's pretty much all of my ideas and thoughts on, you know, where to get them from and what I look for. I will tell you guys, you know, there's a fine line. One of my guys that's going to be managing, I don't think I've shown him yet. I mean, you guys know who he is, JT, but I don't think I've shown in the video process that he will be managing the 54 location. But he asked me, you know, hey, are we trying to fill chairs or are we trying to have good barbers? And I said, you know, somewhere in the middle of that, right? You know, everybody you hire is not going to be a home run hitter, and we do need to fill chairs because we're not trying to pay the bills myself. I'm not trying to go negative. But again, if you guys remember how we set up this shop, I have 6 months to pay $1,000 a month. So off the start, this barbershop that we're sitting in is going to cover both shops regardless of if we add any barbers for the next 6 months. Basically, after the 6 months, when the shop goes to full rent, I need to have at least 2 more barbers in each shop to make up for that increase in the rent. So we have 6 months to hire 2 for each location. That shouldn't be a problem. To be honest, I already have, I think, 3 in the pipeline, and we have a couple potential possible people there as well. So you guys just need to figure all that out. I know this video is probably boring. I'm just sitting here talking. I'm just trying to kind of spill my brain out to to you guys to think of my thought process on doing this so you guys can understand kind of just some of the things in play here. And it's up to you guys to decide whatever size barbershop you have, how many chairs you have, how much the bills are, how much booth rent is. You know, all of those variables are gonna change how many barbers you need to hire, how fast you need to hire them. If you don't have a barber school, you may not have any barbers. So my first shop when we first started, we did not have a barber school. A lot of my barbers came up from friends and clients that we basically sent to barber school. When they graduated, they came in and started working. So depending on your situation, it's gonna look different. I hope this just gives you a general idea on some of the options, some of the things to think about. I just wanted to make this video in the series to give you guys just a generalized idea on what we're looking for in barbers, and just, you know, like I said, a couple things to look for with your scenario to figure this out on your own. All right, guys, so now we have done 6 parts of this How to Open a Barbershop series. To be honest, I don't know what the next part will be. I am gonna do one part that is breaking down all the numbers. So I'm gonna be 100% transparent with you guys. We're gonna write down everything we spent on equipment. We're gonna write down everything we spent for everything up front, how much it basically costs to buy everything to get the barbershop started. Then I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna write down what the rent's gonna cost monthly, what the bills are gonna cost, and try to give you an idea pretty accurately of that. And again, this is gonna be for my location, so it's gonna change for you. But I wanna be transparent with you with how much we spent, how much this whole deal cost. And then obviously we're gonna have one of setting up the barbershop. And you guys leave me a comment down below. When we get to that, would you guys like as detailed as I can? Like, do you want me to show you how to put these lights up, how they snap together, like up close and personal, show you how to mount the mirrors? You know, I can show you guys how to mount the TVs. I mean, pretty much everything I'm gonna do. If you want me to, I will set the camera up and document it in pretty good detail so you guys can see literally how those things are done. Or if you're cool with just like a time lapse of me doing all that, I can do it that way as well. So leave me a comment, let me know. Those will be 2 more pieces coming up. And then, you know, as we get closer, I'm just gonna document, you know, maybe won't be as much part of How to Open a Barbershop series, but obviously, you know, day 1 when we open, you know, I'm gonna be showing you guys on the channel what the shop looks like, you know, as it gets built up. So when the sign's going up and all that. So I don't know what series, what part that will be moving forward. But obviously now, guys, we're kind of done with everything. We got some barbers hired, we got all the equipment, everything's in the works, everything is ordered. Now it's time to watch it get built and finish it up and open it up. So leave me some comments down below on what else you guys want to see up until the end of this series. And if you guys missed a couple of my last one, I wish I could link all 6 right here for you, but I'm gonna go ahead and just link the playlist. So here's the playlist for How to Open a Barbershop. If you guys missed any of these, make sure you click and check those out, and stay tuned because we got a few more coming.